and listen. Well, I'm kind of sleeping on the game today, man. I think I'm good now.
I'm I'm worried because I know you have rainstorms down there. I'm like,
Not one of the smoothest of transitions there, but
that's all
we'll
right.
survive.
Look, usually it's a premature one, but that's fine. It went all the way to the end. I liked it. That was
Yeah,
fine.
man.
No big deal. Happy Monday, as DJO said, and happy welcome, DJO, one of our Senate family guys out there.
DJO NYC, what's good? Welcome.
Yeah, happy Monday to you, Mr. Dave.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So, what's up with you?
I've been trying to keep up with everybody telling me happy birthday today on my on my social media here, and it's been one of those days. So hopefully I said thank you to everybody. If I didn't, then thank you.
All right. Well, happy birthday, by the way. And
Thank you.
yeah, I'm not going to give you the big pandas or Rip Torn throwing stuff and doing whatever on your
No pandas, man. I was waiting on the
Facebook
pandas.
there. Yeah.
Thanks, DJO. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'm basically, you know what? I'm that guy that if I log on and it tells me that it's your birthday, I'll do it, and then I'll feel guilty, and I'll see if there's a few people I've missed, or I think it doesn't work that way anymore. I think it's just people into the future. So I'll actually hit, people I would know early, and I'll say happy early birthday because I'm not going to do it, if I'm not behind the computer doing something.
Yeah,
because it's rare.
It's interesting how many people do and don't. It's all good.
Yeah. It's I do different things, especially when I'm on the social media because I can't get distracted, shall we say. I have one of those personalities that I can get distracted very.
I'm literally getting distracted right now saying thank you. So I get it. Well, but it's like if I don't, the next thing you know, there's like 20 more. And I don't know.
You bring up a good point because if you looked, my birthday was just May 27th. And people did the same thing. Like they all came on there and it was a lot of them. I mean, it was a lot, but I felt guilty if I didn't go to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
And personally say thank you. Not only do that, but like them.
Now,
I mean, is that what you're supposed to do? I mean, what's the ruling with that?
I'm not sure the protocol. I mean, I guess you say thank you or, appreciate it or, thanks a lot or whatever. And maybe throw a like on it and keep going.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Or maybe you say more depending on what they say. Sometimes I have this one friend that every year he puts HBDDH, right? Okay. And so every year I respond back TYAS.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just because.
Okay, that's cool.
He's using all the first letters, so I'm gonna give it right back to him.
That's cool. No.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Speaking of birthdays, the only person, and it's funny. Well, actually, I think my sister and brother-in-law did. They're older and they can sing me happy birthday. They sang happy birthday. I think they did, or they just came in and kind of like happy birthday, whatever. But there was one person who fully sang to me the birthday song, and it was a male.
Was it Big Daddy?
Wasn't Big Daddy. I was blown away and honored at the same time.
Was it Raymar?
No. Who?
Oh, not this year. Yeah, not this year.
No. May 20. I was like, what? Wait, whoa.
No, I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't even thinking about this year.
Okay. No. Believe it or not. Here, I'll narrow it down. And really mess with your focus. He was a guest. He was a guest on the show, and it wasn't Soho, who I'm very, very tight with. From Senate. So it was a guest on the show, and out of all the guests we had, who would I have been like blown away and honored? Be like, wow, he's saying happy, and he sang happy birthday to me, just called me up out of the blue. I was like, on my birthday.
Was it Keith Shockley or was it Too Tough?
It was not Keith Shockley. Now, and you know what? I don't even think Too Tough, as much as he is on social media, and us doing this show, that I'm feeling really big about. This is going to be pretty awesome. If it eventually ever happens, I would be blown away. But yeah, if this actually Lady B's 40th happens, that's going to be some big stuff. But no, it wasn't Too Tough.
All right, I give up.
It wasn't. You gave up. Now wait, we had him on the show. Throwdown. DJ Throwdown.
Oh, Throwdown. Okay.
Throwdown. Yeah, the champ. The champ calls me up and starts singing happy birthday to me. I'm just like, wow. Oh, whoa. To me, it's like, I mean, if we were fighters, that's like Muhammad Ali calling you up, or Tyson. Happy birthday to you.
You know what it is that remember I wasn't able to be on that show. And so that's probably why it just didn't even register in my head of him. Because remember, you and Gabe had to do that show without me.
Oh, wow. Yep. Oh, so interesting. Oh, see, I don't remember things like that. There's certain things, you can, I will remember and I don't. I do remember that he was on the show. I was like, remind me, was he on the show? But yeah, he called me up out of the blue and was just like, happy birthday. I was like,
that's cool, man.
Happy birthday. Yeah, no, and it was really cool. Because he's one of the guys that I want to hook up with down at the expo.
Careful how you say that.
What's that? No. I want to network with. Thank you. The proper pronunciation, ladies and gentlemen, is networking, because that's really
network with him.
It's how we met, but also how we became friends, and that's in this industry. And you were talking about this earlier, and we'll discuss it. And hopefully we'll touch on it again. The hustle.
Right.
It's known as grinding. It's known as, people wonder, how I did and I got what I got with Peavy, just let alone. And then when I became with Peavy, how I got all these other people to start recognizing me and doing it. It's really the networking that you do. It's going out to these events and shaking hands and kissing babies, as I say it is.
Right.
I mean, if you don't know somebody, guess what? You better introduce yourself to them and say, hi, I'm Greg, but who you represent if you're representing that company at that time.
Yeah. Well, and there's an old saying, I don't claim to own it, but there's an old saying, your network equals your net worth.
Right.
And I think if people really thought about it that way, they would give it more validity. They would give it more, they would understand more of the value of why it's necessary, and it's difficult for people such as myself, who are introverted people. And I know most people would not believe that about me, but I actually am a very introverted person. In certain settings, I'm able to do better than others, but for the most part, I'm a pretty introverted person,
Okay. All right.
So yeah, man. So I totally get it, man. I totally get it. But that said, I still say that people should very much still be on the ball when it comes to networking, and definitely being, always constantly trying to meet new people. And listen, we live in a society now where you can go on the internet, this crazy thing called Google. I know some people still maybe haven't heard of it yet, but like you can literally go on this thing and find out just about any bit of information you want to find out about reaching out to somebody. And so there's really no reason not to. The only person you have to blame is yourself if you don't do it. Now, does that mean you're going to get a response? I don't know. But it does mean that you should at least try.
Mm-hmm. Look, man, when I had my job, with the pros, one thing that I would get, and I would actually take into consideration, is where guys would reach out that were looking for work, that were DJs across the nation, that wanted work, that never even mentioned, hey, we saw your ad in Craigslist. We saw your ad on, careerbuilder.com. We saw your ad, in the various different places where we put ads looking for DJs, because it was a constant, recruitment thing for a while.
Right.
In the heyday of the DJ industry, I mean, all the way up, in preceding the new millennium. It started the millennium was kind of the key, and the fade out, where at least the large companies, like them, it took a turn. But it took a turn for the smaller guys, because the saturation of the market, it can be saturated, but then it's the quality of that saturation. If there's a way to put that, poetically.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think there's been this kind of evolution of people that really like the idea of working for another company. And that used to be how it was in the 80s and 90s. And you didn't have as much access to internet. And you didn't have any access to internet back then, but like pre-internet, like you wanted to work for another company because, let's be honest, like they already did all the heavy lifting, and your opportunity was to learn the ropes, and then maybe you started your own business, maybe you didn't. And I think when the internet came along, and when this whole mindset of generation CEO, you're your own boss crap thing came along, and I got to make sure that I don't say, like, I'm not against you being your own boss. But as long as you understand what that means, right? I mean, you have to really understand what that means, because you can be your own boss and still be broke. Like that happens to a lot of people. And there's no reason to do that. Like, it's really okay to work for somebody else and make a little bit of money as you go along, or decent money as you go along, and put yourself in a position to understand how to be your own boss and not be broke.
You just said the magic words right there. Put yourself in the position. That magic. Hold on. As we say on our show, there's a learning moment, ladies.
There you go. Ding ding. Tofu's up.
Put yourself, let's rewind that. Hit rewind on the social media platform that you're listening to this now, because what you just said there is gold. Yeah. Put yourself in that position, Yeah. Enough said, man. I really want to pick your brain, because we touched on the DJ Expo. We'll touch on a little bit more, but you, my friend. Now, how do you say it? The Marquee,
it's actually called the Marquee Show. I don't want to get in trouble, but
I mean, it's a standard press question. How do you pronounce it?
Say it right.
Yeah.
But me and my buddy Nick and Anthony from Promo Only, and Rob Johnson from Enjoy Tech, we were kind of we were just kind of joking around. Also, Luke Renshin was there, by the way, too. We were kind of goofing off saying the Marquee Show just to be stupid, but
okay. Well, DJO, we're going to touch it on that. I'm also going to touch about the Senate House and things like that. So stay tuned. It's a reason for you to stay tuned and hang out. But I really wanted to pick Dave's brain on this really quick, and starting with that, Dave. And it's great. I can put you in this position. It's like, and now, what really, it's a twofold question. To me, I thought it was a photo booth thing. Yes. But with that being said, what is this show? Is it a photo booth thing, or did it evolve from the photo booth thing?
I think it was originally, sorry, I'm just trying to look something up here on my laptop to share with you in just a minute. But, I think that it originally was, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for not knowing this, but I think it was originally a DJ show. And then, because the first time I went was in 2018, and I feel like the bulk of it was, DJ, maybe a little bit of photo booth, but it was mostly, DJ stuff.
Okay.
And then, sorry, I am just trying to put something from my laptop in here.
That's okay. So, but then they bought, because photo booth was the new hottest thing. So what they did was, obviously they bought photo booth into it as, hey, let's partner in. Is there anything else? I mean, it's like the Rhode Island Novelty Company, the Windy City. Well, since it's in Chicago, was the Windy City there?
Probably.
Windy City. Oh, they were. I didn't. Did you walk the floor? Did you walk the floor? Or did you take?
Yeah, I sort of did, but I mean, there was a lot. So at this one this year, there was a lot of photo booth stuff, and there was some DJ stuff, but there was a lot of photo booth stuff, and a lot of variety of different photo booth stuff.
Here, what I'm getting at were the other organizations that I would find at, say, like, in Vegas or in Atlantic City, there, like the novelty companies, like, the associate, like Name or American DJ, like
the American DJ Association was there, represented by Scott Favor. Was there representing them, and I mean, it was no real novelty companies.
Or how about speaker companies? Chevet, American DJ. Oh yeah, okay. This is what
EV speakers were there.
Was Bass Boss? How about Bass Boss? Were they in representation?
No.
No.
No. No,
Rain,
honestly,
you.
there really wasn't a lot of DJ
Okay.
equipment representation there,
Okay.
you
No,
know?
no, no, no worries.
Yeah.
How about the education now? Did they have seminars in
Yeah.
depth for education
Lots of great seminars.
with DJ and photo booth? Then they really focused on the educational aspect of that.
Ironically, yeah, so ironically, the show floor was
Okay.
probably 90% photo booth, but the
Ooh.
education was probably 90% DJ.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
neat little balance.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. All right.
I'm gonna bring this up on the screen. This was
Yeah.
probably the highlight was would be this right here. Me and Luke.
You know, you're jumping the gun through my notes here. That was good.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just getting excited about this, but
So Wrigley Field. Now who's that with you?
that's Luke Renshin
That's Luke. All right.
from Rhode Island. Yeah.
All
Yep.
right. Shout out to Luke. What's up, Luke? That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
very
man.
cool. And the only person you're missing is, God rest his soul, is Ray. So tip
Yeah.
the hat to
So a
Mr. Ray.
little bit of backstory about that. You know, me and Luke and Ray, like we all met each other at shows like years and years ago. Probably at Mobile Beat or one of the other ones. I couldn't even tell you, which is kind of the cool thing because we can't really pinpoint when we met each other. It just seems like we've known each other forever.
At shows.
And we all were big fan and are big fans of baseball. So every show we ever go to, if there is a baseball game to be watched, we are definitely going. Raymar was part of that crew as well. You know what I mean?
What a great idea.
So last year, so I'll pull this back up again. Last year we went to in 2018 when we went, Wrigley Field, the Cubs were away, so we were able to kind of walk around Wrigley Field, but we weren't able to go into Wrigley Field because they were doing what were they doing? Oh, they had a concert there or something like that.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so we had to, we weren't able to do that, but we went to a White Sox game that particular trip. And then this year, when we found out that they were going to be in town, we were like, all right, well, we can't not go to the game. So probably have a few more photos I can share.
Is that now what is it about Wrigley Field? Is it the oldest? Is that the oldest ballpark or
no, that would be I'm 99.9% sure that would be a claim to fame of the Fenway Park. But Wrigley Field, so here's kind of before the game. This was kind of us just getting there early before the game.
Neat.
And beautiful scene, right?
Yeah, dude, look at that.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, beautiful scene. And but Wrigley Field and Fenway Park in Boston are basically the two still standing fields of the original field. Now you could also argue that some of the newer parks are like, are original, but I'm talking about like the original parks that were, built in the 1900s. You're basically looking at Fenway Park and like I said, Wrigley Field, and that's about it.
They're all wood. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, when I walked around Fenway, that's the one thing I did notice. I'm like, wow, it's a lot of wood.
Right? That's what she said. No, I get that totally.
But truth being said, we used to have a place like that down here in Philadelphia. It was called Palumbo's. If you ever came to Philadelphia, it was one entire city block, but that meaning is that could be 60 houses in a square, and then in the middle, let alone, but the thing was all built of wood, and you would do DJ events in there, and there would be so many halls, and they would stack those chairs, those wooden folding chairs. Remember back in the day, they would have those. So imagine a place like that with wooden floors that you could almost see through. You could kind of, because of the way they've rotted. They've had those wooden chairs stacked on the wooden floors, and then the wooden tables. And back then I smoked cigarettes, and they said, I need to go smoke cigarettes. And it was a pain in the ass to go outside. Just go into that other room and have a cigarette, open the window. And I was, and then what do you do when you're smoking and looking down at the ground? I see all these crushed cigarettes, like,
smoking.
really? I would have at
Yeah.
least littered and flicked mine out the window to be safe and not burn the place down. But
Yeah.
once again, that's what worries me. But that's what gives these older places, meaning where I wanted to get to, is their beauty.
Right. Right.
The essence, like going to Wrigley. Oh, I could only imagine the feeling you had walking
Yeah.
around that
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So I got a couple more to show you, and then I'll quit fanboying about the baseball.
No, I could only imagine. Oh,
So
look at
this
that.
is pretty cool. Like these seats are on buildings, like literally a block behind the stadium.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, and they have them set up and positioned just properly to where you can see into the. I mean, obviously from a very, very long ways away, but you can actually look into the field and see the game being played. And these, like I said, these buildings are like a block behind.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. So my mouse is working. So you can see down here, down at the bottom.
I see it. Oh, I totally see what you're doing.
Yeah.
What is that? Those people down there that you're pointing at with your mouse?
I think these are people that are just waiting to get in.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were. Now, are these party houses or places or something like that? Do people live in these? Do they rent them?
I feel like this one on the far left here was like that. Like there's a sports bar that's on this top level right below the seats.
Makes
and then
sense.
some of the others, honestly, might just be like apartment buildings and so forth. You know,
I didn't know if it was similar to like Fenway when I went the Yawkey Way. Everything had to do with either a bar or you could buy baseball memorabilia or baseball stuff, and you had some of the really coolest shops there. I didn't know if that was the same theme there in Chicago.
I didn't really see much of that down that way. So and here's the last one I'll share, just because this is a kind of a neat perspective. So this is just kind of one of those panoramic photos.
You took one of those with your phone?
Yeah, from the outfield.
What a great idea. Oh my God. What a great shot that is, dude.
Yeah. This is standing right in center field, essentially.
That oh my God, I do a few of these, and when I do them, usually it's in the right place at the right time. This is golden, man.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. That is very cool, dude.
Pretty neat, man. Yeah. So we had a good time. And that was that was the highlight, of course, myself and Luke's trip. Other than obviously the camaraderie of I'll tell you this, just being able to be in the room with a bunch of other DJs that are serious about what they're doing. They're serious. There's nobody there. There was nobody walking around with their head down, COVID this and my business that and blah blah blah. Like people were genuinely like rooting and cheerleading each other on, and just like hey, we got this. Things are getting better. As normal. It was in various places it was a little bit further along than others. Some places like looks like I lost Greg. All right, well, I'll just keep going. That's okay. I'm sure he'll be back. For those of you who are listening, so there he is.
He is. What happened?
Right back with me. No, I was just saying, for people like Luke, who lives in Rhode Island, he was talking about how there's just been this surge of business. You know what I mean? Just bam, just like you got punched in the face with business, which I think you guys have kind of been experiencing as well.
Oh my God, dude!
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing the surge of business that's happening.
Yeah. So just a lot of really cool things going on, and one thing I do want to tell you guys, honestly, anybody who does corporate events, anybody who does game show type events, my buddy Rob Johnson, who is now with a company called Enjoy Tech, they have some amazing buzzer systems and all of this stuff that really need to be checked out.
Wasn't Rob Johnson with DigiGames, I think?
Yes, formerly with. Yes.
Yeah, no, I met him through a buddy, Jay Hatch.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Rob's a good guy. He's been a friend of mine for several years now, and I was kind of hanging out, helping him in his he had a booth there with Enjoy Tech and the buzzer systems, and there's probably about at least half a dozen to 8 different new buzzer systems. Quality is bar none. He always
had the high-tech, cool stuff like that. Yeah, that's why, my buddy Jay, when he introduced me to him, I was always drawn to him. I think he helped out with the first actual button, or helped Jay with when we were developing these booths, a button to push, to get your picture taken back in the day. So,
Yep.
but yeah, no, that's awesome. Here, final question about the Marquee, and then we'll move on to the DJ Expo, or DJ X as they're now branding it. But how about the nightlife? I mean, was there any type? I mean, and not like, party till you drop. Once again, I mean, and I'll phrase it correctly. Networking, not hooking up with guys. How many guys did you hook up? Networking. Were you able to go to like a BPM Supreme party or something hosted by that whomever?
Yeah. So the first night, obviously, we went to the ball game. That was on Monday night.
Okay.
Tuesday night, there was a now I got to get my mind right here. Tuesday night, they had like a get together that was like there was a two comedians that were at this place that we all went to. A local person that works there had like this it's like a big space, like a big rec center almost kind of place, but decked out really cool. They'd probably be mad at me if they heard me call it a rec center, but essentially think about it that way. And it's just been tricked out to be a really cool place. I think they have teens that come, or they may have even adults. I'm not really sure, but cool place. Had a stage, had a big sound system in it. But they had a couple comedians that performed there that were funny, and then they had dueling pianos after that, which was really cool.
Love dueling pianos.
So that was the first night, and then the second night was at this kind of restaurant and bar type area.
Okay.
And DJ Qbert, I mean, I think anybody who knows about DJing knows who Qbert is. He was there, and then a lot of the other exactly. And then a lot of the other attendees and stuff like that were kind of guest DJing at different times and stuff.
I have to. Much love, Qbert. Love you, Dud Rumble. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to see if I can find. Oh yeah, no, I know I said that was the last picture I was going to pull up, but just because you did that, hang on real quick.
All right, we able to grab one? No, that's great. While you're doing it, I could talk like, because we see him down like he Z-Trip have been big at the events the past couple of years, not only in Vegas, also in Atlantic City, but also out at NAMM. The last NAMM they had officially with a lot of people. They attended. Qbert and Z-Trip. There he is.
Yeah, nice. So there's the hat, like you said.
Nice. Oh yeah, right. Well, usually, it's like a little like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Then the homie awesome. Jordan Marshall in the background.
He is such a great, and that's another thing. He is such a great guy, and a lot of people want a piece of this poor guy, and I get it. I kind of like just. When I hang out with, a couple of these guys, I'm not all over them. I don't ask them a million questions, only when they're on a show. Exactly. A million questions. But when I'm hanging out with you, I'll be like, you want a drink? Well, can I get you something? I'm the opposite. Like, you want to sit back, chill, relax, and not be, messed with. And I get that, No,
it's funny you said that, because I grabbed a burger and fries and was just sitting there forever. And I was talking to my buddy Nick and Nick and Anthony from Promo Only, and we were all sitting together, and I was like, man, I kind of want to go take a picture with Qbert, but I want to wait. And I waited, and then he set everything up, and then I just found the right time where it was just like he was just kind of decompressing, standing there, just chilling, whatever. And I just went over and said, hey man, just want to take a quick picture with you, man. I'm not going to bug the hell out of you. Just want to take a quick picture. Nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, cool.
Yeah, man.
All right. Awesome. So I obviously, you were with Nick with Promo Only. So Promo Only was out there representing.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Cool. All right. So it was really, it was really kind of a plethora of different, things out there for DJs and or entrepreneurs in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a great show. It was big enough to where you could hang out with people that you're like, if you've been in this industry for a while, there was names that were there that you knew, that you got to reunite with. And but it was also small enough to where you could meet new people and you didn't feel overwhelmed, and you didn't feel like, there's 600 people here or 500 people here or whatever. It was just the right balance of people from the standpoint of who was there and then the amount of people that were there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. You know what? I mean, I wanted to touch on a little bit before we move into AC, all of this stuff opening up. I think I discussed before one of the things I do and I fell back upon, and it's really how, not how I met, but I met Soho through the expos. But one of the things that Soho was doing was working at a lot of these different clubs in the city. And he really, what he's doing is he goes into these clubs, and some of these are just flipped. They said, okay, we want you to be in charge of the entertainment. Boom, done. Either find somebody to book them, you book them yourselves, and here's your budget. You have this, you can do this, we'll do that. What can you do it with? And it's just him. And he sits there and he's got to put, great minds together and great people. So he actually, which I'm blessed to do, he called me upon me and he said, look, here's my vision. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this, and this. And, he allows me to help him build these cool little creations in these different clubs. One of them we opened a couple years ago, and I took my daughter there, and I didn't even remember. I'm just like, oh my God, you were at our newest club. It's a lounge. It's not really a club. And in Philadelphia, it's at 12th between 12th and 11th and Chestnut. It's in a neat, interesting area, but the lounge, and I was showing you pictures earlier, it has this maroon velvet all over the back and the sit down, but the sound and the vibe that's created in there is really awesome. But point being is, it's not only this club, but there are multiple clubs now in the city that are opening up that are kind of either wanting to do the same thing because they're it's almost like a copycat thing. They see this one club taking a corner and they say, well, if we do away with that table, we have plugs there, we can put a band in and well, let's ask Johnny, and Johnny knows Greg or this guy, and and they know this person, and all of a sudden the phone starts ringing. It's like a whole new revolution of things that are happening. Yeah. Especially in that sector. It's odd. It's not like it's big. It's not like, and Vince was actually out there because there's a lot of techs that are needed in town if these places keep popping up like this. And it's cool. It's a cool vibe. It's better than all this boom 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 music in your
well, it just goes to show that if you learn more than just how to mix music, but you actually learn production and you learn mixing of sound, and you learn microphones and how they work and why they don't work and what to do when they don't work and all of these types of things, you make yourself much more valuable than than just showing up and being able to spin music.
And there is another learning moment, ladies and gentlemen. More words of wisdom by David Hanscom, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. You put yourself in a position to be more valuable.
You speak the truth there, compadre, and it's great advice. It's great educational point here that you point. But you're right. Yes, no, you do. You put yourself in a great spot. But adding to that too, knowing how it all goes together. Knowing how to run those wires and plug these wires in and the difference between, the high voltage and low voltage electricity. Some people look at me and say, oh, you're going to electrocute yourself. Not necessarily with certain speaker wires. Right. Certain ones with the really big amps, I'm going to get one hell of a shock like I would with a taser, but it's not going to be enough that would kill me as if I stuck my tongue into a wall socket, Right. But yeah, it's giving yourself the ability to do multiple things. And here's one thing that everybody forgets out there, especially in the hospitality industry. Okay. And you're not just, the guy who is the technician, shall we say, or you're not just the DJ, or you're not just, even a server. The people at these restaurants, you're a representation of that place and you're creating the vibe. So if you go in there with a bad attitude and you do not smile, you're ruining it for the rest of the customers.
Right.
You're literally doing it. And it's very similar to the hustle that I put on, and what you do when you meet people, when you're at shows like the Marquee show and like the expo. You have to put on your best game face, your best working face. That's what you do,
Right.
and if you can't do that, you shouldn't be in this industry.
No.
And if you can't enjoy it and always be in it and have a normal thing, that's another thing that makes it much more easier in this industry, having
Right.
it come naturally to you, not something you have to force, because when it has to be taught, then it has to be almost forced, or as I like to say, when it's taught, it's learned. It's learned, just like we as animals learn to develop and we learn to evolve. And that's the reason for these shows, so that we can learn to evolve, and we learn from networking with others. We learn the mistakes that others make, and we learn that all the different ideas that these other people or organizations that are successful, and they give them time to speak and about why they are successful and how to do this for free, but it creates value for that ticket holder, whether that ticket holder paid $10 or paid $100. That's the value of the ticket. And a lot of these guys that go to these shows that don't, I got a full expo going to any of the seminars. No, I didn't go. Oh, they're just boring. I said, well, why'd you buy the full thing? Well, I just go for the parties and they get messed up. I'm like, wrong answer. Exactly. It's like, why, like, it's like the $1 million question. I'm going to give everybody the answer to now, and they know the answer. Why do you do this? Well, I'm in it for the money. Wrong answer. You do this because you love this.
Right.
You do what you love. You never work a day in your life. So, all right. So the nightlife, anything else special, anything sponsored, any other big things, like did Reloop rent a room, or I don't know, the promo only pick up the tab for everybody's tequila one night at the bar? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. No. I've seen crazier things, some things I can't mention.
No, I think it was just I think it was a good mix of not too much, but it was just overall. I look forward to going again next year. It's the best way I can say it.
Was Big Daddy out there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was out there. All right, so he wasn't dancing on the bar with the lampshade on his head.
Not this time, but he was doing everything else. But
it's usually a party when he and I put lampshades on our head. That's enough said with that. All right, on to the DJ Expo, which has been rebranded as DJX. And that, if you go on their website, if you go everywhere, that's really what they're trying to do. And it's a rebuilding, just like everybody else. Every other company is rebuilding. The whole COVID, the COVID-19 or whatever it is that COVID-19?
I think that's the one.
They're acting like it's not around here anymore. But it's almost like a rebranding, and I get it. And so many other companies, from the small businesses I see in the city all the way up to these big businesses, are rebranding themselves and doing different things, and bravo for them. So it has been confirmed that I along with DJ Soho are going to be doing a little educational seminar bit there. So once it's officially released as the press release, I guess through DJ Times, then I'll go crazy and say, I'm promoting it and things like that. But the other thing that I've been speaking to a couple of people, and one of the guys, I don't know if he's here or not, and I'm not going to say his name unless he yells out and screams it, or he hears it in the replays. But there's a bunch of people that are taking copying what the Senate did, which is a great idea. Instead of getting like a little room, they're getting an Airbnb. Yep. Now, not only are they not feeding the corporate machine, money by renting a room in those big conglomerate hotels that are, nuts, but they're actually getting a family or a homeowner there some money and renting a nice house, and having a bunch of people stay there. And with that said, these are and they are designated, because somebody showed me this, as party houses, where you're actually allowed to entertain your guests up up to the laws of that state, whatever, whatever the sound is. You can have a DJ there, you can have whatever there, but if it's 10 o'clock, that's it. 10 o'clock lights are off, or you're fined, which you rightfully should.
That's good that's allowed, because that could be a real challenge for sure otherwise.
They did that at NAMM. There was a lot of the lower hotel room. They would rent out either a villa or a suite. And and I noticed that if that happened and the music was too loud, they said, well, this is what we paid X number of thousands of dollars for this,
right.
And they shut that right up. You
right.
comp people that are complaining. Then you don't, it's who pays more for the. I remember I did an after party at one of the ritziest hotels in the city, and the Four Seasons, and it was loud, and it was 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. and it was 2 hours and nothing but boom, 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 and great. And the people were jumping up and down, and they were screaming. And I bet their screams were louder than the damn music.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 times they came down and they said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, you got to talk to that guy. And they couldn't do anything. I said, you know what? I will be nice and I will really get rid of the bass, but I can do nothing about the people stomping and jumping up and down. When you play Chris Cross's Jump or the Movement's Jump, because it's been requested, there's certain jumping songs that
House of Pain,
shook a jump around. They shook the house down, and people like screaming and yelling. I remember the one song they sung that almost blew my ears out. Are you going to be my girl? Hey, baby, and that was nuts, and that was really nuts a few years ago. But once again, the whole place erupted in it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
As it should.
Yeah, as they should. And the funny thing was, they didn't serve any alcohol because alcohol stops at 2 a.m. They had a big coffee station. Coffee, soda, juice, and tea. That was the biggest thing. And this is the beautiful thing. I love these after parties like that. Those tubes, you go into the candy store on the boardwalk, and they have a big long tube, and they have like Mike and Ike's in there, whatever.
Yep.
They rented that out, and a company came out, and they had all these tubes around the end of the room, and you'd walk around and you'd grab your bag and you'd have a little scoop and you'd scoop in whatever your thing of choice was, whether it was cinnamon buns, you name it, dude. I love candy, and I was having a field day at this place.
Oh yeah, I'd be in trouble. I'd be in what do they call it? Sugar rush heaven.
But what a great idea to make your out of town guests that were coming down there, that probably lived in the city, that were going to drive up 95 anyway, get them all caffeined and sugared up if they were drinking heavily, which they were, because that was a rockin' party to boot. And when they came at me, I'm just like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. And it was a big band, and I heard it, and I said, oh, this is going to be interesting. But with her playlist that she had, it was like a mixable playlist. I said, look, we're going to create a masterpiece. And certain brides, when I see their vision, I said, oof, you want it this way? We're going to create a masterpiece, girlfriend. And they, we kind of know what we're saying. As far as, other brides, I'm not afraid to say, and I just had a recent experience, and I hate to go sideways in this, but this is educational and this is learning, and this is why we do this.
Right.
I had a guy that's to be named mentionless. He comes at me. He was doing a gig for me. He goes, you're not going to believe it. The bride wants 389 songs in a 4-hour affair. Okay. First, David, I'm going to ask you, what's wrong with that picture? How many songs can you play in a 4-hour affair, David?
Well, let's see. Usually about 20 to 25 an hour.
Wow, so you're playing 20 to 25 songs an hour? Are you kidding me?
If you're going quick, you never know.
No, okay. Now that's what I'm saying. Who are you? A young premature? No, that's what she said. No, that's older guys. No. Look at it this way. Your average song is about 3 to 4 minutes. Especially because I know certain broads will yell at me if I don't play the whole song or start me up, or if I don't play the whole, you didn't play the whole thing. You mixed out of my favorite song. I didn't hear the last chorus. Well, never do that again. But because of that, really what I tell my brides is you're playing about 15 an hour. 20, I'll give you 20. 25, yes, if I'm mixing out of them, if I'm cheating. Yeah. But I'm cheating on a few songs, and I want my clients to know that, because there are clients out there that give these 3s, 4s, 4. Well, he didn't oh, do that, and I'm
Look
always
at
trying to be
look at
perfect.
Vince said 35 to 40 an hour, man. You're talking about quick mixing.
It's what do you scribble? That's DJ Scribble, throwing in songs, every 30 seconds, every minute.
Yeah.
That's when you're mixing down. But look, you can do that. And there's an art to it. You can throw certain things in and out,
Right.
But that said, 60 songs. I'm going to tell my bride, all right, we got 4 hours. Oh, and by the way, the first hour is probably going to be dinner. So that you got 3 hours of dancing.
Right.
And I'm just being nice by that, if they're
Mhm.
not trying to squeeze sometime a cocktail hour in. So
Sure.
15 and 15 is 30, 45. All right, give me 50 songs that you want to dance to. And out of
Dude,
that, start a top 25, right?
I can't even make this up. I had a guy give me a Spotify playlist of songs that he was interested in for cocktail hour. Oh, he's saying for 4. Okay, Vince said for 4 hours. Okay.
Right. For
That must be
cocktail
the
hour.
extended versions at that point. I had a couple give me a playlist for a cocktail hour that was 9 hours long.
Whoa. Yeah, no.
And I'm just like,
I had no. It's
yeah, I'm not really good at math, but
I had
feel like this ain't gonna fit.
I had a graduation. I said, "Well, I'll have your daughter throw a Spotify playlist together." I think it was just her favorite songs.
Yeah.
Same thing. We're in the like 8 to 12 hour range. I was like, "Whoa,
Right.
wait a second. I'd love to do your
Yeah.
party." But what I did was I said, "Let me pick the best," and that's what they did.
Sure. So exactly, and that's a good learning point right there too. Is if you're giving that level of control to your customer, that's not a bad thing. But you also have to set yourself up for success. And when you get this thing that comes to you, because here's what basically here's what I did with that guy. I said, listen, obviously that I'm not going to be able to play 9 hours of music, even if the cocktail hour goes 90 minutes, I'm still not going to be able to play 9 hours of music. So that being said, what songs in here are absolutely songs you want to make sure I play?
Thank you.
And then let me, then I can fill in the holes from there.
Now here's another very important part, because this is where it also came back in that DJ's face. Not only are you going to play that, and it's every, and I'll repeat this again, and let me say it, I'll say every 10 different times if I have to. You are playing every song on your client's list. That means requests from guests probably not going to happen. And if they do, you're going to say it on the mic and let the bride know, because there's going to be omissions of her songs that she just might say, well, he didn't play, and he played other songs he shouldn't. And speaking of other songs you shouldn't, don't pick anything out of the, what are they called, the old time favorites, or out of your head that you think, well, this will go well. No, it won't. If it's not on the bride's request list, she might be upset. And 9 times out of 10, she's going to be, if you don't play exactly what she or your client, doesn't matter, bridegroom, birthday boy, birthday, these are your client. If they have my point is they have inflated expectations. Nicely let them know how many songs you can play in an hour. And in an hour, 20. Yeah, if I say 15, you say 25. I say let's meet in the middle, my friend. Let's meet in the middle, about 20, 22, and that's fine. But let the bride know that, and then say out of that, you make that list like you said of the ones you're going to die if you don't hear. But only play their music. Don't play anything off of your own brain or what you think is good, because it's going to backfire on you. Play only what the client wants, because every time they're turning around, they're saying, oh my God, that's my song. Oh my God, that's my song. And they're even in the bathroom. Oh my God, that's my song. You're playing every one of their songs that they want. End of sentence.
Well, this also can bring up a whole conversation about, do you even want to create that situation in the first place? You know what I mean? And so in other words, maybe maybe you don't even want to go down this path, and you just want to let your client know this is kind of the style of what I play. This is, maybe you have a song of, I don't know, 200, 300 songs that you play, that you feel comfortable playing, blah, 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 whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And you have to make that decision yourself. Like, Does
Oh,
this
yeah.
make sense to me? Or,
I-
do I want to give my couple, let's just call it that, because I think
Yeah.
at this point,
Sure.
I think at this point we have to be safe, obviously, and be respectful to people and say the couple,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, the client. Maybe it's not a
Right.
wedding.
Right.
Um,
Or
you really have
mom.
to do, what's
There-
that?
Maybe it's mom not letting the kids picks even happen. How about that situation? There's another
Yeah, maybe.
situation like let's throw this on the left field. There are so many situations that we have to deal with that are just insane. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to throw that foul ball in there, but you know what I mean. I mean,
No, it makes a lot of sense, man.
we're gonna get that, but I just felt bad because I had a vet that was on this that freaked out on the call beforehand, and then after the fact, I got a complaint, but it was a complaint on him, it wasn't on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still perfect. He screwed on the other hand, but I say, and that's what if client says, well, you don't have a perfect rating. Well, don't get Joe.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and the thing is, she named Joe by name, Joe Schmo or John Smith or whatever.
Mhm.
Not my problem. I did not do that. My clients know I bend over backwards for them. I also one of the words I like to say to them and to a lot of people is, if there's anything that I can do for you, please let me know. I'm at your service.
Yeah.
A lot of guys or gals won't say that, or they won't do the small things. I mean, I literally have gotten like I'm at a cocktail area. I'm just mingling around, meeting some people, and one of the mothers, she's older, she's got a flower on there. That's the thing, and she looks like I said, "You okay?" She goes, "Oh, I'm just looking for somebody to get me a glass of water." I said, "Mom, you wait a second." Boom, ran over, butted in the bar. I said, "This is for the mother. She's dehydrated." I said, "Please, can I have a glass of water?" It was 10 deep at the bar.
Yeah.
Screw you guys, get out of the way.
No.
I'm the DJ, and I'm getting this for the mother. She's got a flower on, and I did that, and yeah. Do I want to let people know I'm doing that? Yes, I do. I want you to know that I'm doing something like that, because that's part of being at your service. The little things like that,
Right.
I mean, hell, I don't know if I ever to tell you the story where I was at a barn where it was a buffet style, and people started eating, and I went over to the bride and groom. I said, "Everything okay?" She goes, "When do we start eating?" I said, "Nobody's fed you yet?" And she goes, "No." She goes, "Well,
Oh,
then
wow.
the table just went up." I said, "Ugh, hold on." And I went out, and I kind of went up, and boom, 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 and I told the staff there to do this, and who's in charge, and why didn't the bride and groom eat? Well, whatever. I just did what was right, and did what was right by my clients. But
Yeah. Yeah.
point of this whole thing being is, you get more requests than you should. Don't play anything out of your head. Don't play any requests from anybody else. Let the client know you're not going to be playing requests, only their stuff, and play every gosh darn song that your client requests. Couple requests, person requests, he, she, it, or they, whatever. Play their music, please. We are a playlist nation. Everybody has a playlist on their phone now. And as the older people die and the younger kids, it's all going to be a playlist. That's all this life is going to be. The word album is going to disappear. There's no albums. There are no CDs. They're gone. And as the people get older, I don't know what it's going to evolve into, but the albums that are behind me of yesteryear are gone.
Right.
So that being said, look forward to DJX, and there's going to be some parties, and I kind of went sideways, but a couple of these people are throwing private parties that are going to be pretty off the chain, and that they're going to invite some private, and some are going to be public, that they're going to want others to come to. So as they are public, and really look for mingling, educational, or let's get out the word that we're out here, whether it's a couple companies teaming up that are smaller and hosting it, or it's one big company, and usually that's what it is. It's smaller little companies coming together and doing something and wanting to be noticed,
right?
And just doing it by the books the right way, but having DJs come together and like a little theme for the night. So I'll let you know. All right,
absolutely, sounds good.
All right, cool. Want to send us out and let people know where to hear us and listen to us, and
absolutely, man. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We had a good chat about the Marquee show and the upcoming DJ X show and all things DJ related. That's what In the Queue podcast is all about, trying to help you all and ourselves, not just you all, but ourselves too, become better entertainers, better DJs, and just better business owners. So if you have any questions, if you have a topic you'd like for us to ever talk about, if you have somebody we'd like to interview, even if that includes you, let us know. You can reach out to us at In the Cube Podcasts on Instagram, or just hit me or Greg up directly, and we can get that information for you. And you can also watch the replay of this on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and just search In the Cube Podcast, you'll find us there. Or if you prefer the audio version, jump onto your favorite podcast provider, whether it's Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, or any other podcast provider. You can find us there. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We hope you had a great night, and we will look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one.
Thanks, next everyone. Week, guys. Good night.